Hi everyone, in this quick video I want to talk about my top 3 go-to lenses for video use. These are not necessarily my favorite lenses, but the ones that I actually use the most. I will go through each lens and tell you why I use it so much. So let's start with the first lens, which is the legendary Helios 40-2 58mm f2 prime. Looking at the specs, 58mm f2 doesn't sound like anything special, but this lens is very special. It produces absolutely beautiful images with bags of character, which include absolutely amazing flares. It's really bokeh, and the sharpness out of this lens is actually very good too. It's very good for video use as well, because the focus throw on this lens is around 300 degrees. I've got a follow focus ring added to it, which is very easy to add, and it also has a clickless aperture adjustment. Even though it's a bit confusing, it allows you to adjust the aperture without any clicks. There are 8 aperture blades on this particular version, if I remember correctly, so the bokeh stays nice and round at all f-stops. And best of all, this is one of the cheapest lenses you can get. So this one is an absolute must-have for anyone who is into vintage lenses. It's great for video use. It's super cheap, and if you haven't tried one yet, you must try this little lens. My second most used lens is the Canon FD 51.4, and I like to use it with the Lens Turbo 2 focal reducer. If you're not familiar with focal reducers, look them up. They are amazing on mirrorless cameras. This is actually my most used lens of all, especially in this combination, but sometimes I use it with a diamond adapter. As far as 50mm 1.4 lenses go, this is one of the cheapest and also happens to be one of the best performers that I've tried. I've tried about 5 or 6 vintage 50mm 1.4 lenses. I've actually shot a comparison that is not online yet, but I've looked at the images and I think Canon is still one of the best, even though it's one of the cheaper ones. This lens has enough character for creative work. The flares are beautiful out of this lens. When you point at the sun, you still get really cool flares out of it. Not as cool as ones you get from Helios, but nothing beats that for flares. As far as character lenses go, this one still has quite a bit of it, but if you are working in controlled lighting conditions where you're not pointing lights at your lens, it has enough saturation, enough sharpness for any kind of work. It cuts pretty well with modern lenses. So this is the lens that I always have in my kit bag. I use it almost daily, and I also use this combo to take photos a lot. Most of my Instagram pictures and the pictures that I use for my website are shot with this lens combo, so it's great for photography as well. And finally we have the third lens, which is the Carl Zeiss Jena Flectagon MC 35mm f2.4, which is another legendary lens. This one is M42 mount, same as Helios. And if you are unfamiliar with Carl Zeiss Jena range, these are the cheaper Carl Zeiss lenses, but some of them are absolutely amazing, like this little 35mm. It has good reputation with people who have tried it. It doesn't look exactly like that when you buy one on eBay, but I'm in process of cine-modding it. The blog post for that is coming soon as well. I've declicked the aperture, or had it declicked, added a follow focus ring and a step up ring on the front. So these ones are like little cine primes for me. I'm doing the same with Helios. It's a bit more difficult to cine mod the Canon FDs, especially the aperture side of things. I don't think it's as easy to declick the aperture on Canon FDs, but it's well known that you can declick the aperture on these devices yourself very easily. And what's great about this lens is that it's really sharp, it has great contrast, and very saturated colors. For a vintage lens anyway, you can again cut it with modern lenses quite easily if you need to. And I highly recommend looking into Carl Zeiss Gienah primes because they're great value for money. Especially this 35 is absolutely amazing and it doesn't cost that much. So these three lenses are not just the standalone lenses that I use the most, they also kind of represent the brands and types of lenses that I use the most. I really like Russian lenses, so this Helios represents that. I like Canon AD lenses, and this 50mm f2.4 represents the Canon AD lenses I use. And I also have a set of Carl Zeiss Gienah lenses, and this 35mm represents them as well. So I highly recommend that you check these lenses out. Maybe it will help you with your future lens choices. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I will see you in one of my next ones.